Thank you, Mr. MC, for the introduction. Okay, just echoing what the MC says, I'm actually leading the IT software assurance team for Telecom Malaysia, and we are here to actually talk about enhancing customer experience in the era of digital technologies through intelligent software testing. So my presentation is going to be different from my previous presenters, great presenters, because I am no specialist, no consultants, no professors. So we are here to actually share our experience on how we implement software testing in Telecom Malaysia. But I'm very relieved to actually have the opportunity to listen to all the great speakers before me, Paul, John, Graham, and Dr. Nishi, because from their presentation, we know that we do not really derail so much from where we're supposed to go. So we are on the right track in implementing SQA testing, moving towards the NG testers. Okay. Next. So, for those who don't know who we are Telecom Malaysia. We are the first Malaysian's convergence communication provider, providing services, various products from fixed line, telephony and broadband, mobility, Wi-Fi, content, and also smart services. So our brand name is Unify, and our tagline is Life and Business Easier for a Better Malaysia. So today, what we are going to talk about is I'm going to share with you where TM is in the life of convergence, and I'm going to touch a bit on SQA in Telecom Malaysia. Okay, our TMMI journey, which we have obtained last year. Okay, and then how Telecom Malaysia evolved together with the evolution of computer generations. Okay, we're going to touch at quality of speed, and finally the key focus areas for Telecom Malaysia. So like I said, it's more on experience sharing. So if you have questions later on how we implement SQA, you can keep your questions right to the end of the presentation. So we are very happy to answer any questions if there is, yeah? So before we dwell in details into what we are doing, I would like to share with you the video of where TM is towards the customer experience. Okay, so this is life in the era of convergence.
Makes a life easier and smarter than ever before, where everything can be as easy as a touch of a button. Where technology can help us become heroes of
technical glitch again.
We're living in the era of convergence, and it makes our life easier and smarter than ever before, where everything can be as easy as a touch of a button. We're living in the era of convergence.
So talking about testing, as much as possible that we anticipate what's going to happen, we still, as always, areas that we do not cover. We even brought the USBs test a few times, but still.
Smarter than ever before, where everything can be as easy as a touch of a button.
So we talk about digital cities.
Where technology can help us become heroes of the day. Where we are able to go beyond our boundaries and stay on top of everything. Where it only takes a moment to bring communities together. Where young minds are inspired to find new solutions to old challenges. Because we believe in making life and business easier for a better Malaysia. This is life in the era of convergence.
Okay, life in the era of convergence. So from the video, the keywords that we want to highlight is we're talking about digital living, digital cities, digital businesses, communities, and also digital nation. So these are all, we're talking about convergence technologies which will drive the customer experience. Okay, so we believe that we couldn't be able to achieve all these aspirations of having a convergence services and also achieving the customer experience if there's no intelligent software testing in place to support the whole idea. So intelligent software testing is very important, at least to us, in order to gear up ourselves in moving towards the new business. Okay, so who are we? Okay, in telecom, we will call ourselves ITech. Okay, IT Application Assurance Delivery Team. Okay, we are an IVNV, and we are the first IVNV for the company, and then we were formed in back in 2012. Okay, as a part of the group IT effort in improving the services that we deployed to our production environment, of course, all the applications that we develop. Okay, and we started with only 2 domains, which is the copper and also the fiber domains, but along the way we have actually expanded ourselves to cover various areas of software testing, and all our processes are actually tested by TMMI Foundation UK. So okay, in details, back in 2012, okay, when the management finally realized that it is very important for us to have a third-party view in testing, an independent testing group, rather than from the development team, to actually bring down the issues or problems or bugs of in the applications that we develop. Okay, basically the idea is to achieve quality in testing. So the inception starts back in 2012. Okay, where back then we are still very much, there's no agile, there's no DevOps back in 2012, so we're still talking about waterfall methodology. Okay, and when we first started, okay, it is just, we start with an idea. So we start working with our partners to actually help us and guide us in achieving what we want to achieve. So it's only a small group, about 35 of us, with the partners, with the idea of supporting all software testing applications in Telecom Malaysia. So just give you to give you some idea. In Telecom Malaysia, the group IT is the group that is actually responsible for all software development, and we're talking about more than 200 applications that is actually in place. Complexity varies from simple ones to very complex. We're talking about order management, we're talking about billings, we're talking about the international interconnect system. So all these testings, we think that we're going to have a neutral party, a separate party, to actually do testing for all the software developments. So it started in 2012. So 1 year after, we start looking into becoming a center of excellence. Okay, we start documenting our processes. Okay, come up with frameworks. Okay, things like that. I can say that much of it is all academics from what we learned. Okay, we start documenting process, frameworks. 3 years after the idea, we finally become an IVNP. Okay, independent party, performing verifications and validations for all development activities, and then we start slowly adopting the agile methodology. Okay, there's a change in the structure to support the idea. Okay, and we start expanding rather than when we started, it's always functional test. Okay, it's always functional test, normal. I think most of you here are testers, so you know what I'm talking about. It's a normal functional manual testing. So in 2014, we start expanding our areas to cover the non-functional testing, mainly on the performance test. Okay, so after we become the IVNV, 2015, that's where we expand our capabilities to also cover new domains, which is initially started with only the BSS areas, but then we start looking into expanding into SAP areas, and also having our people to be exposed in automation testing. That's where the intelligence elements start coming into our organizations in relations to software testing. So we start looking into automations. Okay, for SAP, for telecom, we have end-to-end SAP solutions from finance to supply chains, HR, and plant maintenance, all suite. And we actually automated about more than 1,000 scenarios for regressions for SAP. So that's a big achievement for us, because we actually, to perform the regression, we can cut the testing time every time we do have a deployment from weeks to only 2 days, to having all the scenarios in place. So that is really a big achievement for us. So we moved to 2016. When we actually enter 2016, we think that framework is already there, process already there, but we think that we need to be certified, meaning our process needs to be foolproof, because we don't want to be, orang kata what, short sendiri lah the process. So we want to have the process to be following the standard process and framework. So we start thinking into getting TMMI certifications, because we believe that with TMMI certification, meaning our processes are actually tested, it can actually gear us up into expanding our capability, supporting new businesses and new areas of testing. So in 2016, we focus on process, we focus on competencies. Okay, this is during this year that we realized, I think, echoing what our presenters before this talk. It's not just about the normal testing. Competencies is very important. It's the people aspect of it is also important. We need to gear up our testers to start internalizing the thought process, things like that, because that will only complement what we want to achieve. So we focus on competency developments, okay, and also the new software testing types. Okay, so in 2017 is another milestone we achieved, where we start doing digital testing, the portal testing, okay, the mobile testing, okay, and also we start looking into customer experience testing, the UI UX, the cross-browser testings, things like that. And we start looking into the process compliance for TMMI level 3. Okay, in 2018, okay, just recently we celebrated our 1-year birthday for having certified at TMMI level 3. So we achieved our certification, and we are also now on DevOps methodology, and also we start introducing more tools to help us improve our testing. So in this year, we are looking into internal expansion, skilling up more people to support the organizations, and also still focusing on competency development into the competency development, we are looking into addressing new technologies that we want to adopt, such as AI, bot testing, things like that. So how we expanded, we started with 35, and today, earlier, back in 2012, the ratio is about 35 of internal and 70-75 of partners with us. But today, I'm happy to say that it has really flipped. Okay, we are about internal people is about 100 plus, and there's only about 20 partners with us. So we are happy to say that we are maturing in the process, and we are going to continue focusing on competency development. So, talking about TMMI, we, like I said, celebrated the first birthday because we actually achieved TMMI level 3 last year, September 28, and we are very proud and happy to say that when we got this certification, we are the first telecommunication company in Asia that actually attained level 3 certification. We are the first GLC in Malaysia to achieve that, 4th globally in telco, and also the 10th organization in Malaysia that is actually accredited with TMMI level 3. I can tell you, it's not an easy journey. It's a very difficult journey, but it's possible. If any of your organization has actually in mind to be certified level 3, please go ahead. But change is adamant. Okay, organization must be ready to change. Support from management is important. Okay, and everybody must have the same mindset of why we think TMMI is important. So just to sum up what I've explained just now. Phase 1 of our journey started with the gap analysis. Like I said, back in 2016, when we first think that we want to go with TMMI certification, the first thing that we do is we do gap analysis. We assess where we are and how far away we are from being certified in terms of the processes, in terms about how we are organized, in terms of how we currently execute testing. So and then after we have identified the gap, we design how we can close the gap. Okay, closing the gap is not easy, like I said, because it requires management support. Definitely there will be an organizational change, structural change. Because if last time everybody is, there's no segregation in terms of the role and responsibilities, so now we need to do that. And about the functions, the roles of the testers. Okay, during our TMMI journey, I can say that lots of documentations is required. Like Paul said, it's all logistics, but it's required because with that only we can internalize the practice into each of our testers. Okay, so we did. It takes us about 2 years. Okay, when we finally do the informal assessment, sometime early 2018, and we got our certification last year. So now we are in the stage whereby we're going to maintain the level 3 certification, and we are looking into possibilities of having level 5 certifications in a year or 2 years time. Okay, why TMMI is very important for us is because if you see, we want to be aligned with the directions of TM. TM wants to go into digital, TM wants to go into convergence, and we foresee that there are a lot of new generation testings will come on board. And with our process to be certified, we can confidently say that process-wise, we are okay. So now we need to focus on people element of it, just like what Graham says. It's also people, the skills, the people element is also important. So if we only address the people element, but our process is I can say is not there. So I don't think we are ready to gear ourselves in supporting new businesses for telecom. Okay, next. The challenges that we had. Okay, this is all us sharing with you our experience going through the MMI certification journey. Number one, the most important is the cultural change. Okay, we need to get support from the leaders. Okay, we need to get support from the leaders because because when we are an independent, we are IVMV team, the development can come from many divisions. Okay, and if all the leaders is not supporting, so it's very hard for us to have a standard common process across all organizations. Okay, so aspiration from business leaders is important. Change is adamant. Like I said, change, a lot of change in attitude, change in the way we do things. Okay, I can tell you there's lots and lots and lots of documentations are required from the testers. They need to prepare test plans, test strategy. Okay, they need to have more engagements with the business users. So naturally, as employees, we don't like documentations. We think that it's a burden, it's time consuming, but these are all the change that we need to address, and we have addressed with the team. Okay, we need to do continuous health checks and audits. Nobody likes audits, but we need to do that in order to ascertain that everybody is following the process. Okay, we need to get our people ready to learn new knowledge. Okay, and awareness to stakeholders. Our testers need to be nearer to the business now. Okay, we are talking about shifting left. Okay, initially when we started in 2012, always testers is being engaged right at the end before they want to deploy to production. Okay, and they think that the only time testers is required because tester is the last gate. If tester does not sign anything, nothing can go to production, and they only engage the testers right at the end. So the testers does not have the understanding of what the change is. Okay, so there's no value add that the testers can do. Okay, we see that we can do more. Okay, if we start giving our people chance to be involved in the development right up from the beginning, from the planning stage, from the requirement stage. So slowly we can train our people on the thought process that John has mentioned, Paul has mentioned. It's all about the thought process. So now we think that by shifting left, our people, our assets can